You take every ride, you take every phone call, get your ass out of bed early, you make the phone calls, you send the letters, and you don't give a fuck about the result because the result will take care of itself when you're ready. You're not ready for $1 million deal. You're not ready. You know what I'm saying? You'd throw up in your own hands. And this is for guys like same thing, who's been running around for 90 days and you know, you might watch Jake, you might get jealous, watch Jake close a deal, he doesn't even go to Dallas. But he's grinding too, right? But he's grinding differently. And he's grinding maybe a little more strategically. And he's grinding doing other things. This whole game, as I've always told every single person here, it's about momentum. The momentum is the game changer. The reason you sold your house is because of momentum. The reason it went the right way is because you changed the momentum. Momentum is something that is an undeniable force in business. And if you think about the past 12 months, the little bit of momentum that you had I had too, in 2020, it feels like death. But it's the game of momentum. So you don't understand the reason that he's closing a $700K deal and a 1.3 deal and another like $750K deal. He's doing that because he wakes up every day, he goes to the gym every day, he goes and manages the properties every day, he charters the boats every day, but he does shit every single day on repeat. So you're damn right, life and the universe are gonna reward that momentum by dropping a deal into his plate. You get what I'm saying? That's how it works. He just gets up and does it every day. And he's been doing it for 3 years. You get what I mean? Yeah. So related specifically to that. So you can't be jealous because he's been grinding for 3 years. You've been grinding for 90 days. You were a light salesman 90 days ago. You get what I'm saying? So you've been grinding for 90 days. That's it. That's not a long time. It really isn't.
90 days. I mean,
how long?
Like 70.
Oh yeah. Just think about that. 70 days? Oh my God. Oh, I left my job in 2010. I mean, think about that. That's 365 days times 10. That's 3,650 days. Or 11. I don't know that. That math's a little tricky. Yeah. But well, that's easy math. But you get my point?
Yeah.
Right? April 10th, 2010 is when I quit WB Mason.
Right.
But I was even doing it before then. You know the stories of me getting up at 6:30, 6 o'clock, right? I would drive anywhere on the planet to make a sale of under $1,000. That's a true story. The stories that I've told poor Tommy his whole life, and maybe Jake too, is I was probably 23, 24, and I got a phone call from a guy who I sold 1 case to 2 cases of paper a month to his wife. And she said, oh, my husband's in the self-storage business, and he develops self-storage centers. Every self-storage facility has like a little office in it. And their newest one is in Tiverton, Rhode Island. So I said, oh, great, I'll give him a call. So I called the guy, I forget his name, and I said, hey, and my territory is Quincy, Massachusetts. So I called the guy and I say, hey, you know, Joanne told me that you were building a storage center and you had a little office and you might need a desk. I'd love to come down and kind of measure it out for you. I can show you some brochures. We'll talk about the desk. So I drive down to Tiverton, Rhode Island. I didn't even think about how far it is. I didn't think about the gas money. I didn't think about any of that shit. I just got in the car and drove because I wanted to add value to the guy's life and I knew my boss would be proud of me in retrospect. And I drove down. It took me like an hour and 20 minutes probably to get there from Boston. From Boston to Tiverton, Rhode Island. It was like a never-ending drive. So when I got there, I talked to him. I was probably there for 15 minutes. I measured out the space where the desk was going to go. I then, later on that day, after doing all my sales calls in Quincy, went back to the office and drew out what the desk would be, gave him a couple of options, gave him a couple prices, order numbers, put it on a nice quote form with, WB Mason letterhead like I did. We didn't really email much at that time, true story. I called him and I set an appointment for the next day and dropped off my quote, a couple of free highlighters. I want to say the desk, it might have been like $1,000 or $1,200. And I did it at a 20% margin, which would have meant $400 in profit for the company, and I would have gotten 20% of that. So I would have made $80 on that transaction. $80. The guy did not order the desk from me. 11 years later, I don't give a I'll take that ride every single day of the week. Because that's what you do as a salesman. You take every ride, you take every phone call, get your ass out of bed early, you make the phone calls, you send the letters, and you don't give a about the result because the result will take care of itself. When you're ready. You're not ready for $1 million deal. You're not ready. You know what I'm saying? You'd throw up in your own hands. So you got to kiss a whole bunch of frogs. You got to drive down to Tiverton, Rhode Island, and have somebody tell you no on a $1,200 desk. That's your job right now. To get as many fucking no's as possible. Because then you'll get a yes when you're ready. But right now you ain't ready. He's ready. Because he's been doing it. He's been side by side with me and Tommy for years, a couple of years. But you're not ready. Your job, again, is to get told no on deals that Tommy or Jake or myself, maybe we would have won. But your job is to get told no. And yours is too. To get told no, because you ain't ready. And here's the great news. You're not supposed to be ready yet. You're supposed to be in training. You're supposed to be in camp. You're supposed to be sitting behind Tom Brady. You're supposed to be filling up the water bottles, right? You're supposed to be cleaning the towels. That's your job right now. And God forbid you close a deal. That's a bonus. And you did. Close a nice little deal. But that's a bonus. You're supposed to be getting told no right now. And you're supposed to lose deals and learn from losing the deals. The prizes of life are at the end of each journey, not near the beginning. And it's not given to me to know how many steps are necessary in order for me to reach my goal. Failure I may still encounter on the 1,000th step. Yet success hides behind the next bend in the road. Never will I know how close it lies unless I turn the corner. Just keep doing it. It will pop. And then once it pops, look at this kid. But do you know why that is? Because that's 8 years. 70 days. You get what I mean? 70 days.
I guess in my head, I'm thinking, all right, I'm around these guys that have been doing it for 8 years, 3 years. You've been doing it for 11, maybe longer than that. How does that help me get there quicker?
There's no quick. There is no quick. There is no quick. There shouldn't be quick. And if it is quick, it's probably very short-lived. There's fortitude being developed inside of you. That's what this path is. Again, when I say you're not ready, I'll speak to you spiritually. You're not ready to receive. You get what I'm saying? You're not ready to receive. It's available, but you're not ready to receive. And you just got to walk those 1,000 steps because you never know when it's going to pop. But when it pops like that. It pops like that. I think he just rattled off $12 to $13 million worth of new deals. Right? You know what I mean?